Yeah, that should probably work. Okay, I'll make this quick so we can all enjoy our lunch or our coffee break after. Also because this is a much simpler product, much simpler add-on for much simpler use cases. It's called Collective Isotope. I'll quickly be going over what, why, and when to use it. What? Well, it's a JavaScript library which has been turned into a Plone add-on. And what does it do? It does facets, like EEA faceted navigation, but much, much simpler, also much, much more limited. But it does it in a very nice graphical way. Most of it is predefined for you. So why would you use this instead of EEA faceted navigation? It's really nice and responsive out of the box. It looks very cool. And setting it up is really intuitive. When would you use it? You don't want to go overboard because it's a JavaScript library. Basically, it loads everything into one single page. So, and then it sort of slices and dices. I would say about 150, 200. If you're in a Western country and people have fast internet, you can get away with 300. Don't do it on stuff that has more, or if you want to slice and dice more items, because it'll be intolerably slow. You can cache things, but still it's a page load. You don't want to do that to people who are on a mobile or who are on a limited data plan. It works best if the content has an image, because then it's cool, otherwise it looks a bit daft. So there's only a very limited use case for it, and don't go overboard. You can do, I would say about 3 facets are optimal. I will show you where I use it and why I think there it's appropriate. How? Well, it works on a folder or a collection. You can set it to be masonry. Masonry basically means like try to fill the screen as efficient as possible. Do a fill, which means all the they will line up horizontal, or make them line up vertical in a nice way. Masonry will just be whatever fits next. And the template is incredibly easy to customize. So that's the advantage. When to not use it, again, if you have more items, if you go above the couple of hundred, please don't. If you have facets that you need to select more than one of, this has no option for it. It's basically a drop-down box where you can get to pick one. And if you need advanced widgets like date pickers or any of those, then please use EEA faceted navigation. It's a great product and I love it. But for some use cases it's a bit overkill, and it's also harder to set up for non-technical users. So let me show you an example. This is a real life example. In my spare time I organize a film festival, and excuse me for the grunting noises that we call a language, but the site is in Dutch and we are actually able to communicate in that. So we have about 160 screenings in our film festival, and that's about the optimal number. So if I go to programma, which means program, I get to see basically all our viewings in a very long list. And then I can say here, well, I would like to do only shorts. And it sort of does that quite quickly. And I only want to see the lesbian shorts. And it sort of slices them, and the selection is cut down to a manageable size. And it just looks cool. It works really nice on a phone. Then the drop downs automatically change to something that is like fat finger friendly. So that's, I would say, a typical use case, and for that it's really good. I was even that lazy that for a normal folder I set this view, the isotope view, without any facets, just to get all the advantages of it doing the responsive stuff for me, because I am lazy. I am really lazy. I had to build the site in 1 day with a budget of 0. So for that I heartily recommend Collective Isotope. This is the isotope settings. Hello, are we awake? So it's basically, you can set up all the filtering and you can set up the sorting, and that's all you can do. It's simple, but for those kind of use cases, it fills the bill, and yeah, it's very nice to work with.
Yeah, it is. My only question would be, because you're right, if you have stuff without pictures, or mix and match those with and without pictures, it would look pretty hokey.
It looks dorky.
Could you have a checkbox say don't include image or something like that?
No.
Okay.
Really, it looks best if it has a lead image, and it looks even better if all your lead images are the same aspect ratio. There is no way around it, otherwise it will always look a bit jarry. So I would say it has a limited use case, but for that it's pretty cool, and the fact that it works so well. For our film festival, 70% of our traffic is on mobile. So that nowadays is not a nice to have anymore, it's an absolute must. And if you have a lot of facets, people don't understand how to set it, and they also don't have patience because they're on a bus. So it's a very limited use case. As said, I love and I use EEA faceted navigation, but there are alternatives out there for these simpler use cases if you have like 50 courses to choose from, or 100 recipes, or things like that. That was all. That was painless and quick, I hope.